Theme song. Hey everybody, welcome to Once Upon a Game, story game variety show, hosted by me, Eric Vulgaris, on the internet lands. We're going to be playing a story game. It's going to be a one-shot game, where we just are going to make stuff up today, and we're just going to play it and see what happens. And today's game that we chose is Polaris. But joining me today are three awesome friends, because this is a four-player game. Yes, join the Roll20. This is a four-player game, so let's just go around the table here and introduce who we are. Then I'll do a little bit of spiel about Once Upon a Game and sort of story game rules as a whole, because it's really important that we hit those notes, and then we will go ahead and jump into play. So, hey Sci-Fry, what's up?
Yeah, well, not much. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a hot minute. Glad to have you back.
Very hot minute. We played Overwatch earlier, but been a while since I've been at the RPG table.
Yeah, glad to have you back.
Yeah, good to be here.
Yeah,
you can find me at twitch.tv/sci-fry, twitter.com/sci-fry, and with that underscore. I don't stream much anymore, but soon. And so if you really want to keep up with me, follow my Twitter.
Yeah, cool. Golden H.
Hey, I'm Golden H. I do a lot of RPG stuff. Right now, I'm gearing up for a new game of Dresden Files. Because every time I run that one shot, somebody wants me to start a campaign, so that's what I'm doing. Working on a game for Oregon Trail, and I'm trying to resist the urge to turn Burning Wheel into a story game.
Holy shit. That seems really difficult.
I want to boil it down to 2 pages. I'm trying to resist really hard.
Somebody already boiled down Burning Wheel to exactly 2 pages.
I'll have to see if they want to do it the same way I do it.
It probably is not the same way.
Do you have a link to that?
Yeah, I do. It's somewhere in my bookmarks. I'll search for it.
Do they just omit the things that we know, like what Let It Ride means and stuff like that?
No, I mean, I wouldn't do that. Let It Ride is important.
Because that's like the most important part. Say yes and roll dice and let it ride is like the most important ethos of Burning Wheel. But
where is it?
Mm-hmm.
Or roll the dice and say yes is actually but how you're supposed to put it. Anyways, that's cool. Well, I'm sorry to also introduce you while you're hunting down this file that I was requesting. What's up, Adam?
I am searching for a thing.
Cool.
Procedural thing.
Don't sweat it, dude. We can find it at the break. What's up?
I found it.
Oh my god. See, as soon as I say don't find it, you'll find it.
Also, I'm hearing a weird sound in the background, which sounds like my singing bowl, like on the dot exactly, but I can't tell where it's coming from. Anyway, I found it. I have the link. Here it is. Copy, paste. There we go.
Cool, thank you. Awesome. So tell us who you are, what you do.
I am Dark Lavender Void, and my name is a star. And I don't stream much right now because Golden H is doing most of my work for me. Because we're streaming playtests of my game, Household Renovation of Great and Terrible Power, a game where you're HGTV reality show home renovators in a world where you're putting on a show for Damons, basically. It's pretty good.
Dude, this fucking 2-page thing is insane.
See?
Yeah, it's real handy. We've been using this for our Burning Wheel campaign.
Thank you for
there
this.
There are several other things we've been using.
I'm going to share it in chat here for a second. So this goes out to all my Burning Wheel friends. This is literally 2 pages of how to play Burning Wheel. Holy shit. This is really good if you already know the rules. As a quick little reference guide. That's really, really incredible, actually. Okay. Cool. All right.
Also,
awesome.
Here's the link to my Patreon in chat. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, cool. Awesome. Okay, so what we're doing today is we're going to be playing story games, and story games are a type of game where you are kind of playing more like an author in your game rather than just a character. We're not going to be limited strictly to what a character can do. It's not going to be like, what do I hear down the hallway? What can I jump? There'll be parts of the game that are like that. But this game also features a lot of things where we're going to be describing and setting stakes of the world in play here. This game in particular, Polaris, does a really interesting, cool thing. This will be technically GM-less, but the way fictional authority gets distributed is very interesting, which I'll get to in a little bit. Because what we need to talk about a little bit more is about a little bit more about story games and what we're doing here. Yeah, I know we've all played before and we've all heard the spiel, but it's very important, anyways, that we keep doing it because it's tradition, and it's important because this will, if we all pretend we know it, it'll be the one time where we don't say it, and then it will happen, and it'll be really awful, and then we'll all never want to play games ever again. So, what I'm talking about is the rule. This is the golden rule, the rule that trumps all other rules that ever will come forward of anything. This is the basically responsibility clause of us as a group, the social contract. This is that if at any point during this game, one of us, it doesn't even have to be me, it can be anybody, I'm just a facilitator. It doesn't mean anything really in this game. We can take a step back from this game and someone can be like, time out. I'm not liking where this is going. I don't like the, subclause. Maybe I don't like the material that's being introduced here. It's problematic for me. Can we talk about it and can we help me go around this stuff? If it's something very serious, be like, listen, I need to X that out. You do not have to justify why you're Xing it out. That's something like, you're not on trial here. You don't have to defend yourself. If it's something that's so uncomfortable that you have to say, can we X it out? We're going to believe you, and we're going to let you go, because that's important, and your safety is there, and don't ever pretend that you have to justify that shit to us, okay? So that's the number one rule. It's always something that I always say, are we on board with that? Because that's really important that we're on board with that.
Of course.
It's never come up yet. As far as I remember, I've done hundreds of episodes and shit of every game. I've never had it come up yet, but doesn't mean it's not there. It's just that's the fire extinguisher on the wall, right?
Yeah, safety first.
You're right. That's our ejection button. That's there. It's part of being a responsible person with one another. It's very important. Okay, cool. So with that out of the way, we can talk a little bit about Polaris. So Polaris is an older game. Not gonna lie to you. It's a little bit. It's probably older than me, I think, which is pretty funny. But Polaris is a game about chivalry. It's a game about tragedy, and it takes place in the utmost north, literally the utmost north. Because you see, the setting of this game is very important. The rulebook itself has a bunch of stuff about the world, but to boil it down here, just for this one-shot game, because this game's supposed to be played over multiple sessions, the idea is that we are in a starlit kingdom on the North Pole. So think of a lot of stars around, icicle, kingdom, castles, right? That kind of stuff. We can play with how real that looks in the game. We can, adjust those dials as we want. But it's very important to know that we are not necessarily people. This is a time before time, right? This is before even Conan, right? This is the ages of frozen world magic. We in this game are going to be looking at two stories. The stories of either like parallel stories that usually don't happen in different timelines, but we're gonna be looking at a particular night. One of us will be playing this night, and the other person on the other side of the screen. So we're basically going to be kind of pairing off here. The other person here is going to be playing the antagonist of that person, and I'll get to that in a little bit. The idea of this game, though, is that it's a tragedy. This is not a game that's going to end well for our hero. We go in knowing that, and that we go in here looking to see how the dramatic twists and turns and how that unfolds. Okay, so we're playing, instead of really playing to find out what happens, we're really more playing to find out how it happens, right? So, and what constitutes the events that lead us down this path. So we're going to be playing knights who start off in this troubled kingdom, looking to make a change, looking to make a difference, and ultimately failing. So what are they trying to change against? Well, it turns out that the capital of our city is destroyed. It's been obliterated into a smoldering crater. Golden Age, do you remember what it's called? Is it just called the Void?
It's called the Mistake.
Oh, yeah, it's called the Mistake. That's right. I knew it had a proper name. It's called the Mistake. And no one knows what caused it. It's there, and it ruined our capital. And so we are all going to be knights from like varying like corners of the world here, and trying to live and maybe try to fix this mistake. Right.
It's one of those world-defining mistakes, the kind that changes the metaphysics.
Well, yeah, it had to be a big enough event for people to just call it the mistake.
Right, like the Aristotelian capital letter mistake.
It wasn't a mistake; it's the mistake.
Correct, right?
It's like forging the One Ring level of mistake.
Yeah.
Exactly. Right. So this mistake festers. It's just here in our world. We determine how recent it was and that kind of stuff. And the other big thing is that there's demons in this world. Demons come from the mistake. Demons can take on any form. They can tempt you with power. They can be giant bug monsters. We don't know, right? Demons are demons. They are legion. They are many. We don't know exactly what they're going to be like, but they will be nonetheless included in our game. And other than that, that's basically the long and the short of the setting. Do you guys think I'm missing anything there when I say that? Did I talk enough about the knights? I guess who we...
Not really.
Yeah.
Also, we're at the North Pole, because North Pole is
we're
cool.
at the North Pole. All of this is going to be... The rest of the stuff we're going to work out kind of in play, right?
I think you should probably mention that the sun is a bad thing in this game.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because we live in a sky where, we worship the stars and kind of stuff like that. So the idea of the sun and stuff is kind of, not good.
So the sun is evil.
The sun wasn't around before the mistake.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. So yep. So talking a little bit more about the mechanics of the game. Let me jump us over to the Once Upon a game screen. So over here in Game of Vision, you'll see that we have two character sheets set up. This game is supposed to be played in a way such that we are facing each other, kind of like a plus sign, or actually more like an X on at the table. But we can just kind of pretend and make this work here online. So once again, we're going to have 2 heroes instead of 4. The original game plays 4 heroes, and when you sit down and play, you might tell the story of one all night, or you might rotate around. It's kind of like Troll Babes in that regard, if you guys have ever heard of that game.
I have never heard of that game, but I want to now after hearing the title.
Yeah.
It's an amazing game. I really need to find a group for that someday.
So basically, this is...
They're 80s rock star Troll Babes.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's the guy, what's his name? Ron Edwards?
Yeah.
Right? Edwards?
That's correct.
Yeah. You might know his other works, like Sorcerer, or my personal favorite, It Was a Mutual Decision, a game about were-rats and people who may not know that they are one, and in being in a vicious breakup, which is a lot of fun. That's a good
I
game.
have heard of It Was a Mutual Decision.
Yes. So,
I'm pretty sure, Eric, you have a game of that on your YouTube.
I
This is
do.
true.
I do. I have one. It was really good. I played with my friend Tim from Twitch. He was a cool guy. Okay, so let's go back over and look at this game screen. Things to know. We have 2 heroes, right? So we're gonna have 1 hero instead of we're going to have 1 hero and 1 antagonist, and 1 hero and 1 antagonist on each side here. You might be wondering what the other 2 people do. The other 2 people play the moons of each story. So the antagonist and protagonist are the antagonist and the hero of one story work as the moons of the other story. So we will be included in playing along. It's not like we're playing 2 separate games.
When you say moon, do you mean like a planet or like...
No,
The moon
they're
goddess.
so they're called moons because it's part of the game, in terms of like the fiction. But what we mean when we say the moons, it means we have domain over particular NPCs and actions. We have domain over non-player characters in that regard. The full moon has the domain of all characters and non-player characters who are of societal or hierarchical relationships to the protagonist, to the hero. So, for example, your boss, right? Your boss, your page, your squire, your
Senator.
senator, or any minor male that we don't know. You play the male NPCs randomly. All right. The new moon is responsible for emotional and personal relationships. This is your best friend. This might be your dad, or it could be your dad's hierarchical one, depending on the relationship. It's up to the hero. It could be your first love, right? I highly recommend maybe adding a love bent to your game. Premium, but the eyes do that. That's advice for every game. That's adding a love bent to your story game is like adding garlic to a dish. It's probably gonna be good, right? It's the garlic.
Way too much garlic.
Romantic subplots are the garlic of your story games.
And giant robots are the oregano.
So the other moon is the new moon, and the new moon's responsible for minor female characters, emotional and personal relationship characters, your best friend, your first love, people you care about emotionally. While once again, the full moon is the stricter hierarchical. They're your brothers in arms, your fellow night bros. Those are your societal positions, right? That you have to deal with on that kind of basis. The last but not least is the antagonist. They'll play any character who's mistaken. So what are the mistaken? The mistaken are characters tainted by the mistake. These can be characters who know that they are tainted or not. This could be something like the evil witch who bid their power to a demon and stuff like that and is wrecking the kingdom. Or it could be the mistake itself that floats around like an invisible force infecting people's brains, right? It could be the One Ring, right? We have flexibility here of what the mistaken means. Characters can rotate between moons. So, you could fall in love with your best friend Knight, right? Who you fought side by side, and it could be romantic. And then all of a sudden now he's a new moon. Maybe your former love, who realizes this, gets really angry and bids power and becomes a mistaken instead of a new moon, right? Like, I don't know, right? It could be freaking anything. But people can rotate through different things, right? That's possible. A couple other things I want to talk about here while we're going through the game. Once again, it's been a while since I played, and there's a lot to talk about here. And I know I'm probably like hitting a wall at some point about like, well, blah, 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 don't forget this, and blah, blah, blah. And you're never going to remember until we start playing and doing it stuff, right? But just some other things, the way conflicts are going to work in this game. So like all story games, everyone always is going to wonder about what happens when I say something, and what if someone says, nah, that's not true? How do you resolve it, right? So this game has a particular way of doing that. It has what's called a conflict. Basically, the other person, so you and the antagonist, can go into what's called a conflict. Basically, the knight will say something about a declarative statement, and then the antagonist has the option to do two things on their turn when in a conflict. They can either say, you're asking too much, which means that the other person, the knight who posited something, has to re-describe what they're saying. Maybe I should I do an example? This make more sense? If I do an example real quick?
Sure.
The knight's fighting an evil witch, right? Let's do the evil witch, right? The knight goes like, all right, I'm gonna I take my frost blade and I slice the witch's head off. And the witch goes, but only if. So this is a mechanic. You can either say you're asking too much. You don't kill me yet, or you say you kill me, but this other thing happens as a consequence, and it could be as big or small as you want. The idea here is that whenever you posit, the person on the other side will then have to agree with that, or say you're asking too much, right? So it's this back and forth stake raising of fictional consequences. You could be fucking Machiavellian at this. And the best games of this game are when you get on the same page. You will know this game will not work when you got and the conflict is broken and you guys are not working together. When the conflict goes like you just see it in the conflicts being like, you're asking too much. I'm not feeling this, right? Like we're not on the same page here. The idea is that you really want to start giving in a little bit, and like all of a sudden you're like sunk in some stuff. Like here's an example. I'm the knight. I cut the witch's head off. And then the witch could be like, or the antagonist could do something like, sure, you cut my head off, but only if
I have one.
Only if I curse, only if I
Yeah.
curse you, and you'll never be king of the region. And the person's like, well, shit, I wanted to be king of the region. Fine, but the people still love me. And then I'll be like, sure, but only if though the person that you really want to love you doesn't love you. And and it's like, fuck, it's like this back and forth game. Like that's what we're going to be getting to, right? The context of this, but only if you're asking far too much. You can only do the you're asking far too much twice in the game. There's boxes for this that we will mark off when they're used. Okay, that's kind of the only other thing about the game. There's no dice rolling. That's it. I think.
Is there still like an agenda for the mistaken, like to try and?
No, it's all based around the story of the hero. We let the fiction drive the story.
Okay, so that's gone.
All right, so that's it. That's the spiel. I know I just spoke for like 30 fucking minutes. I'm really sorry. Part of this is help remind me about the game. I don't like to particularly always give examples for games, but I think this one kind of needs one sometimes. At least that helped me a little bit to think about the game.
Yeah, the only reason I know about it is because the first Once Upon a Game that I saw was Polaris.
Yeah, I just want to say this is one of our most favorite games. It's Story Game Seattle. It's an amazing game. I wish the mechanics of this game could be seen even more in different stuff. You see a little bit here and there, like you see it in Downfall and you see it in Follow when someone says, "But there is a consequence." But it doesn't have that stake exchange. It doesn't have that brinksmanship that this game has, which makes it so tasty. Okay, so I'm done. I'm done describing this. I'm done describing the meal and telling you about the meal. Let's show us the meal. Okay, so let's start breaking up and describing how we're gonna do this setup of our characters here. Does anybody immediately after describing this stuff, anybody want to be a protagonist or an antagonist?
I wanted to call dibs on the antagonist.
Done.
Because it sounded fun.
It is. It's very fun. It's very hard.
Boogie.
You want to be antagonist too? Are we all going to be antagonists?
Obviously, we can't be.
I feel like that can't work. I feel like there has to be a protagonist. If we're all antagonists, we've won. That's it.
Or have we? I feel like being the antagonist this time.
Okay. Adam, are you cool with being a protagonist? I'm cool with being a protagonist. I like being the protagonist.
I'll protagonize with you.
Awesome. Okay. Do you have a particular... do you want to play under Golden or do you want to play under Sci-Fi? I say under only because their names are at the top, not because it's hierarchical in any way.
Yeah. I don't have any particular opinions.
Cool, you're playing with Sci-Fi.
Cool.
I'm going to play with Golden. Cool. Just so it's easy for us to see this stuff here. That means Golden. Do you want to play in Sci-Fi's game? Do you want to be the full moon or the new moon?
Just look at this real quick.
We're all antagonists to each other.
We're all antagonists now.
Yeah.
Uh,
If I was the antagonist, the payload would be delivered already.
Yeah. Some of this text is upside down.
Yeah, because the sheet is made for us to be sitting at a table with this in the middle.
Yeah, I get it. It's meant to be like a piece of paper that you just turn around.
No, not even turn around. It's like you're sitting across the table from me,
right,
so it's right up for you.
People, right.
It's so intuitive, unless you're playing
Like,
online.
yeah,
and it's like, fuck.
I feel like this might work in Tabletop Simulator or something like that.
It's cool. We'll worry
it
about
would
it. Don't worry
crash
about it.
50
We just need
times.
wormholes. We need digital
Golden,
wormholes.
did you give me an idea of what kind of moon you want to be, my friend?
Yeah, it'd be full moon.
All right, cool. You full moon. So then I am the new moon. Alright, same question to Sci-Fi. Only because I guess I'm asking the antagonist first. There's no method here. I'm just saying stuff. So Sci-Fi and Adam, you can determine what moons you want to be for GoldenEye's game.
I want to be a new moon.
You want to be the new moon? Alright. Sorry, Sci-Fi.
I will take the full moon. Be the societal or hierarchical relationships. Or
Awesome.
minor male characters.
Every evil overlord wants control over hierarchy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Everything else we get to do is for character generation is going to be by the book here. What this means in terms of character generation is basically we're going to be start making a couple characters, giving ourselves some abilities here, but we all start with a few abilities. But by golly, I just don't remember what they are. I know everybody gets a starlit sword, but I just don't know.
Is that a thing?
And someone else has. I remember.
Mushrooms?
Oh, I remember. Okay, so the protagonist down here will get other abilities. They get knowledge of demons. I know that.
Yep.
Knowledge.
Is there a specific page in the PDF for character generation?
Yeah,
or
let me find it.
Yeah, let me find. Yeah, can someone
the
find that for
table
me?
of context is not helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is like I said, it's an old game.
Yeah, I get you. It's all written in this nice prose that is really nice to read, but it's not nice for effectively navigating.
Yeah, I am learning that this is the thing in designing games. You have to design multiple versions.
Yeah, like it has to be nice to read, but it also has to be functional.
Yes.
You like how I just erased the beautiful arms just to write knowledge of demons in a straight line? You're welcome. Sorry about that. That's under abilities. Everyone else, I think you get one additional one.
Yeah, there's another thing. It's
But,
the middle one, and I can't remember it.
So here, hold on, here's a couple things. So under blessings, you're going to get Starlit Sword.
Here we go.
Page 45-ish, looks like.
Yeah, I found it. The ability theme. Here we go.
I think you also write Knight of the Order of the Stars. I believe, if I'm reading that
where do you
correctly.
put that?
All protagonists start with the lore of
Yeah.
demons aspect.
Yeah, I put knowledge of demons, but it should be lore. Yeah, that's under office, right?
Yeah.
Under office, you put Knight of the what?
Order of the Stars.
No, Lore of Demons goes under ability.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
lore
is.
of demons is ability.
It's under there.
Oh, okay. You're talking about Knight of the
Knight
Order
goes
of
under
Stars.
office. Yeah, office is your positions.
Yeah.
What goes under fate, though? Things external to the PC, but important to their story, events, ideas, or relationships. I don't remember what that's supposed to be.
From what I'm reading, it says, I'm reading the example, and it says, I'm going to leave the fate space blank. We're going to decide later on a fate that all of our protagonists will share.
Oh, I think. You know what I
That's
think we
in
do?
the
Do we
example,
ignore that?
So I might be wrong. That might be a choice that the example is making.
When making heroes, omit shared fate character. Each hero has the other 3 default starting traits: sword, lore, knight, and then add 2 more as usual. Okay, so as a player, here we go. So Adam, you get to add 2 additional things. It can either be positions of offices, they can either be blessings, they can be lore of demons. Abilities, blessings, or offices. Examples of things that I've added to my game. I've had singing voice, like beautiful singing voice. I've added, winged cape. Like I could fly. That kind of stuff. I've added offices. I've added prints. To the kingdoms.
Okay. So the list is just examples.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you can go buck wild here. This is our game.
You could have a steed.
While you're doing that, I'm sorry for talking away from the microphone. While you're doing that, I will do that for my own stuff over here, and then what we're going to be doing is then making up a couple characters for the full moon, new moon, and the mistaken. Okay?
You have a moving castle.
You could have a house moving castle. That's a possibility.
So I'm writing down the office or fate or
You'd have a horrible legend.
Okay, so the order fate ability thingy blessing that all applies to the protagonist, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, antagonists, we will be making up multiple NPCs to antagonize. our
Also,
heroes
I
with.
hope for folks at home that's not too hard to read on screen. I think it's okay. I'm writing in 56 font, so let me know if you already had something you wanted to add. Adam?
I'm confused at this point.
Sorry. So you have two entities. You have two traits you can add to your character right now.
Yeah.
One of these traits, or another, actually the better way of putting it, each of these traits could be one of the three following categories. They can be an office, which means a position or title or standing that your character has. They can be a blessing, so that could be some sort of equipment or a companion that your character has, or it could be an ability, which are skills, talents, expertises that your character has that you want to see cool in the game.
I would like to write down a blessing. I'm going to write down that. I think a blessing. So the protagonists have these blessings, yes?
Yes.
Okay, cool. I think they have. Oh, I think they ride on these wise and starry-eyed camels. Hold on one second. Let me make that font bigger.
Oh wait, I was looking at the right sheet, whereas this is in the left sheet.
Yeah, Adam, yours goes under Starlit Sword over here. So I put our stuff at the bottom here of who we go under each one for protagonists and stuff like that. So, okay. Okay, cool. So far, you've added wise and starry-eyed camels as like a magical mount that your character
Yeah, pretty much.
Cool. But the first thing that I added is that my character, who will be named at some point, he has a Flute of Ages, which is an old relic before the mistake, crafted by the best musician, kind of like an ocarina. I don't know. It has magical properties. I don't know what it does yet, but it's
Is it
cool.
the Ocarina of Time?
It is the Ocarina of
The
Time.
Flute of Ages?
It is the Flute of Ages. The second thing that I added is that I added an office for my character. They are courtier of the kingdom. So they are a member of the king's court, whatever the monarchy's like. I'm a noble, and I hang out at Noble Town. That's what I do.
Nice.
Okay. So that's done here, and then we're gonna start coming up with names for characters and relationships. But once Adam goes ahead and gets the next thing.
Don't you get 3 things?
No, we get 2 things.
Oh, alright.
Okay. I'm going to put under office Master Astrologer.
Under abilities.
I was going with that under office.
Oh, okay, cool. I get that too. Yep, that's also good. Text boxes everywhere.
So I'm imagining like the Master Astrologer thing is much more academic than being a Knight of the Order of the Stars.
Totally.
because if you're a Knight of the Order of the Stars, then you're like a force of goodness and whatnot. Whereas if you're a Master Astrologer, then you study the stars and you look for the ones that you can barely see and try to find their stories and what they want and stuff
People
like that.
just come up to you and be like, "Yo, what do the stars say today?" And you're like, "Oh, you
Yep.
know, they're saying some shit right now."
Yeah.
Yes. Cool. So where's the part about making characters again?
It's on like what page 45 was it? Or at least that's where the abilities stuff are.
47 is the part
Oh,
where
here we go.
Oh
46,
yeah, almost there.
47.
Oh, here's the blessings. Here's the abilities. Cool. Okay, so now that we have all that stuff done, we're gonna start. We're gonna come up with things for our main character. So just so you know, the main character is the heart, right? They're the central part of our story. So we're going to come up with some. I guess we're gonna come up with some hero names, right? We're gonna choose a name for our knight. The names begin on page 126. These are all star names, by the way.
I like the idea that knights are named after stars. Is it a given name or is it like their birth name?
We don't know.
Cosmos is ours to determine.
Ooh, I like that one. Found it. My character is Azza. Azha. Azza means hatching place. I don't know what that means, and that sounds spooky. And that's an awesome name, by the way, so I'm choosing Azza.
It's a weird name for a star.
It's
Must
part
be a
of
nebula.
it's under the Eridani section, which I know Epsilon Eridani. So, as a star system, very famous. If you play a game called Race for the Galaxy, that I do a lot. So, God, I love that card game. Anyways, yeah. So my character's name will be Azza. Let me know when you have a character name, Adam.
I do.
Ooh, okay. What is it?
I'm going to say Nihal for now, but I will look up that pronunciation.
The meaning is camels drinking.
Yep, I went obvious. I have literally control F'd that shit. How to pronounce that word?
Nahal?
No, holla.
Okay. So now the next.
The glorious stud of the star.
The last thing we're going to do, Adam, now that we have our characters' names, the last thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and come up with a character for our new moon, our full moon, and mistaken. So they all are cosmos. Our cosmos meaning these zones of characters. They must always have one name in them at all times. Okay? So, let's go ahead and come up with some extra people. That would be fun and important, right?
Yes.
So, let me look at the list of people. 126. Or it's actually more like page 124 is where it starts, right? The PDF and the listings in the book are not the same. Yep, cool. So I know what I'm doing. The first person I'm having is under the full moon. I'm having Andromeda.
Sounds like a good name.
Yeah. Andromeda's my daughter. I guess she should be under new moon. Sorry. Then that's true. Andromeda is my daughter. Aspiring knight. Probably somebody of the age 12 to 16. Something like that. Teen. Um,
Good that A names run in your family.
and for full moon is Aquila or Aquila. I like Aquila.
Keela.
Holy shit! I
Eagle.
never realized that till now. What that means?
It's water, isn't it?
No, it means eagle,
Yeah,
Yep.
eagle.
which is fucking mind-blowingly awesome for my game of Stars Without Number, because the ancient empire is called Aquilon, and it has eagle motifs, and I just never made that
Wow.
association.
There you
Nice
go.
job.
Look
Holy
at you
shit.
with that in astrology in your subconscious.
Fucking way to
The
go,
astrologic
Brain!
field is strong.
That's awesome. Thank you, Brain. That's so cool. Anyways, I know that I'm super excited about that. Just one of those weird things. Okay. Anyways, yeah. So, who is Aquila? Is it Aquila? It's Aquila, right? Or is it
Either
Aquila?
Aquila or Keela.
Aquila. I like Aquila. Aquila. Aquila is my. I like Squire.
Nice.
Yeah, I like. I'm probably like. I'm like a mid-30. I'm like Farah. I see a lot of things about me like Farah plus Link is really what I'm seeing about my character right now. I know,
Okay.
like, I don't really want to give a lot of descriptions. I could have just like described some shit, but like,
I mean, that
like,
put
I'm
a
thinking-
really vivid image in my mind. So
yeah,
good.
right. Like, or like, if you guys have ever played the game Journey, like I imagine myself wearing a lot of like, for some reason when I think of snow and starlight stuff, I think a lot of like desert theme kind of stuff. So I'm thinking a
Well,
lot
I mean,
of like,
snow is
you know, like
practically a
flowy,
white desert.
yeah, like flowy, like gray, like cloak that's like kind of like wispy, and kind of like tight to me. I have like a fencing sword and like like I have like a golden sash, and like I have like my lute, my flute of ages near me at all times. And I obviously have like I have like a sash, and the sash is the runes and stuff that go down that I guess are, maybe it's like magical and it reminds me of the lore of demons, or maybe it's a symbol, maybe it's both, not, it's maybe both my lore of demons knowledge repository that I can like grab, and like it can tell me things if I like wear it or like listen to it. Maybe it's also my Knight of the Order of the Stars symbol. Maybe like having this golden sash means that I'm part of the Knight of the Golden Stars.
I like
So,
that. I like having a
so that's
nice,
my character.
awesome star sash that makes you a knight.
Yeah. I think I like the idea that it reflects the sky. So it's not necessarily runes, it's constellations that shift and change, like it's like a sky moving at night. And so when I read it, I can like read the sky, and it tells me something about what's going on here. It's like I'm divining.
Yeah. It's like, hey, let me
right.
read the stars real
Yeah,
quick.
right. And so like I like to look at my sash. It gives me information. So I'm totally thinking something like that. And I have to come up with a mistaken. Or no, I think Golden Age should come up with a mistaken, right? Yeah, I'm gonna let Golden Age come up with the mistaken here.
Oh, it's got to be Triangulum. All hail Triangulus.
He was Triangulus.
Oh, it's a reference from Adam's playthrough of that game. Triangulus is a giant metal centipede.
I like how the star
Looks
meaning is literally
like
just
that.
a triangle.
Yeah.
Okay. Also, Dorado is a goldfish.
Triangulum, I guess. It has to be Triangulum.
Oh, it's Triangulum. Okay.
That's what Dorito means. It means like little golden thing.
Yeah, but I never put the connection that little golden thing colloquially would mean goldfish. Like it's a fish.
Yep.
That's
This
awesome.
Triangulum also will take you places if you ask it.
Yeah, but they're never good because it's mistaken.
Yeah.
It's,
He'll take.
Cool.
He was like, "Hey, I'll give you a ride, and you'll never come back."
cool. So, my character's done. We're ready to begin from me. Adam, I know I just kind of like jumped ahead and like did all this kind of stuff. How are you doing, man?
What do I do?
Oh, so now that you have the stuff, what you're gonna do is you're gonna look at the star names and you're gonna come up with two names. These are gonna be your moons. So one of them is going to be your full moon, and the other one's going to be a new moon. And then you're going to let Sci-Fry come up with your mistaken.
Nice.
So really, just come up with supporting casts starting out. Obviously, this isn't the only supporting cast we'll have in the game. We're going to have other people crop up, and when they do, we're going to write their name in this list, and we're going to have people play them.
Okay.
Right? And if it turns up, we have like 2 full moon people in the game. Obviously, you know, like in like me and Golden H's back and forth, if we 2 full moon people come up, obviously Adam, you might be called on to play the other full moon, and you just behave like a full moon. You're basically there to like help out and support.
Well, also NPCs can switch between moons, right?
Yes, they can. Right.
And the
So like your
antagonist
full moon now might be a new moon later.
Yep. So Sculptorus.
Sculptorus.
just reach out and grab those NPCs and take them for your own.
Get them while they're hot.
Mm-hmm. Let them let the other player make them friendly, and then just take them away.
You got Sculptorus.
Sculptorus. I think he's sort of a person who, he's probably like the richest noble. Like he has more money than anyone else, so he has a lot of power.
Yeah, from all that sculpting.
Yeah. And how many characters do I make? 2?
You need to make a new moon character.
Okay.
The new moon is someone who's emotional or has a personal relationship with you.
Yeah, so Sculptorus would have a societal or hierarchical relationship with you.
Yeah.
Just to reiterate, for my character is one for that is mine's Andromeda. Andromeda is my daughter, who's like 12 to 14 or 16.
Yeah. On the other end, since it's sort of funny to me, Victorus, the painter.
A lot of art people in your life.
Yeah.
I like. Are you gonna have some like weird like academic drama? You're like the master astrologer versus like the sculptorist person, and like you're like the university.
Yeah, I'm the Sean Nittner of Polaris.
Yeah, obviously you got to.
Yeah.
I'm cool with this.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to play Polaris into like the Quiet Year, like into Apocalypse World.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah.
Welcome to September. Well, we will be doing exactly that. Spoiler.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Mistaken is next, right?
Yes. And that's you to come up with, Sci-Fi.
Yeah.
Remember,
I don't
Mistaken
know. I
is
mean,
the-
Golden Age made his Mistaken a giant centipede. I'm not sure what to make mine.
Oh,
What
dude.
are the limits? Like, is the I
There's
was
no
kind
limits. So, remember I was mentioning something that we'll come up with? This is the beginning of the conversation. If you want to be like a witch who whispers on the wind and just be a voice, right? Then that could be the Mistaken.
right, like
If
because
you want it to be a person in someone's life who's misguided and has a demon influence, you may or may not know it. You can do that too. Like you can be as
the
close
Mistaken
or remote or
is
as
like
possible. You know.
they take all forms, right? It's just people who were affected by the mistake. Or not even people, like giant, disgusting monsters that were affected by the mistake and
Exactly.
became
That
more
came out
giant
of the
and more
portal.
disgusting.
Yeah. If the mistake is even a portal. Yeah.
I found a star that I really like the meaning of. So the Mistaken in this game is named Atlas, and the meaning of that star is he who dares suffers. And,
also means father.
Yeah, it does mean father. You know,
Love
he's
it.
a father figure.
Love it. Go ahead and write Atlas in there.
Yeah, there we go. Atlas.
Fucking rad, guys. I'm digging this.
Yeah, and I think he's a, I almost want to say he's a He's a teacher. He's a teacher of men who was somehow affected by the mistake. It affects him in interesting ways. And he may not even know that he's a mistaken.
Ooh, the mount.
Yep.
Oh.
Because they're wise and they understand.
Wait, is
I like
Pictorius
that.
your mount?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I like that. I don't think you're. Yeah.
She's the one person Nihal can trust.
I like that. You confide in your camel.
Yep.
I'm cool with that. That's like some like weird like Greco-Western. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is like I'm fucking digging in a big way.
Me too.
So that's awesome. Yeah. So other than that, we're ready to begin. And the way this is going to work is that the first scenes, we're gonna go on break before we start, but just to give a quick recap of how the game's going to play out, we're going the protagonist and the antagonist are going to rotate making scenes for each of our stories. So either Eric or Adam, we're going to be doing. One of you is going to be doing the first scene, and then we switch over, and then the other person makes a scene, and then we switch back to the other game, and then we switch back to the other game, back and forth. So it's like protagonist, protagonist, antagonist, antagonist. Unless you want to, we could maybe switch it up and do like protagonist, antagonist, protagonist, antagonist. If that sounds more fun. I don't think it really matters because they're two different stories, so it's like different things. And
Yeah, but I don't know. I kind of like the back and forth. Like,
yeah, let's do.
we got a good guy scene, then we got a bad guy scene.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Okay.
It's all just a matter of perspective, my friend.
It's true.
I'm pretty sure the antagonist doesn't make the first scene, but I just wanted to double check there. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. So the core game of this entire thing, it has a lot more like words and things with dice and that kind of stuff. This has all been stripped out for one shot, which is pretty cool.
Oh yeah, are we not doing the fate thing?
No, there's no fate.
No fate.
Now,
Cool.
later we could interest you in a full campaign of Polaris. That would be good then.
Oh, yeah, this
Nope.
is.
Okay, I don't know what it is. Okay, that's fine. We'll just figure it out. We'll just let the protagonist do the first one. All right
Yeah.
then. So yeah, let's go to our first break because we're about the top of the hour here. I've been streaming for 58 minutes. It's close enough. Because then let's do our first scene. So we'll be back in 5 minutes, everybody. So thank you so much.
Yep.